from the Dail Eireann, and we are up here for the farmers' protest. So bear with me while I get this all sorted. I'm flying solo. I'm on my own. I am without my colleague Paul Murphy today. I'm just testing for visibility, audio, and I hope if anybody is on this, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, I hope everybody can hear me. I have audio on my phone. I'm just checking now. And we are up here. And we are up here at the farmers' protest outside Dail Eireann. And hello, I'm live on YouTube. May I interview you?
You can, yes.
Well, I am here with Councillor Noel Thomas from Galway. Councillor Noel Thomas, you, an amazing result and outcome and turnout at the No to Mercosur deal in Athlone.
Well, that was an incredible day, yes. I know we've done interviews with myself that day as well.
Yes.
Actually, it was very impressive. Like, great to see this kind of support coming out for the farming community, and that's been the whole community of the country, really, to be honest. Like, because I think that people are realising that it's more of a health risk. I think that's probably the biggest, issue that's involved in health.
And also, I'll give you that mic there too. And also, I would also say, it's also the fact that it's also, I don't know if I turned that mic on, it's also the fact that we're so lie. The consumers, we want to support Irish farmers. When we go into our grocery shop, we want to know that we are supporting Irish farmers when we buy Irish brands. And we're so lie when it's not actually Irish beef.
We're 100%, and I suppose look at the big lie we're being sold, and the reason that the protest is here today is, again, it's a serious conflict of interest that everybody seems to be denying exists. We've got the chairman of Bord Bia, who is Larry Murrin, who has a serious conflict of interest as far as I'm concerned, because he's also the CEO of Dawn Foods. And Bord Bia is the body that's set up there to promote Irish produce and to also help for the safety of Irish food. And then you've got him in his other hat, where he's actually working with Dawn Foods, where they've been found out to have been importing Brazilian beef. So it's a serious conflict of interest. But what's incredible about it all, Roisin, is that we've got our Taoiseach, our Taoiseach, and our Minister for Agriculture, who seem to be happy enough with this man being in the position he's in. And along with them, I suppose there's other ministers as well that people have been trying to make contact with, who seem to be hiding and hoping that this issue is going to go away. But the reality of it is, I don't see this issue going away. I think that farmers are making a very strong stance on this, and rightfully so. And I think there's only one solution that will be accepted at the end of the day, and that will be for Mr. Murrin to either resign or be replaced.
I'm going to take back the mic. I remember putting on the mic. I turned the two of them on. I'm at that blonde midlife crisis moment. We're just standing yards away from the Guaranteed Irish office, just down there. The 1, 2, 3 doors down, the Guaranteed Irish.
Yeah, and I suppose that's a serious problem when you think about it, Russian, because what does Guaranteed Irish mean anymore? When we see this sort of stuff going on. Like Bord Bia, I heard the description there not so long ago, has actually an interview, I think, that Jackie Flanagan done, and it was very interesting because she's very well educated on the subject. And she was explaining the differences with the labelling here in this country.
Yes.
So just because it says Irish on the product or Bord Bia logo on it, it really doesn't mean that that's where the product is actually coming from Ireland at all. So a lot of confusion there, and a lot of lies being told, to be honest with you, to the public in this country. So no, we really need to improve on the way the situation is here in this country, because it's a disgrace the way it's going.
Do you also believe, is it too many labels? Do you think we should just go back to the one label, the guaranteed Irish, so people know that maybe all the other sort of organisations who are saying, yes, this is guaranteed, if you look at this label, but do we need to go back to one label, all the labels under one umbrella of guaranteed Irish, one label, so when we go into our supermarkets, we know we're buying guaranteed Irish beef, supporting Irish farmers, and we are buying good, healthy food produce.
Yeah. Well, you're dead right on that, Russian, because like we're really overcomplicating the whole situation here. And if you're going to have the Bord Bia logo on any food, or if you're going to have anything on the food that's stating that this is an Irish product or whatever, then that's what it should be. And anything else is a lie. And that's what we've been sold in this country for quite some time, I'd say now. But, I think that people might be finally starting to open their eyes a bit on this. And maybe that'll force the powers that be to actually start ensuring that the labelling is telling you the truth, that it's an Irish product. And as you said yourself, simplify it. If it's not Irish, then it has a different logo.
Because women and mothers, you think the Mercosur deal with the beef coming in from Brazil, with all this carcinogenic growth hormones, what about it? How is that affecting us, our health, our concerns, and our children, pregnant women, pregnant and babies, all eating that? That must be affecting the whole health system. And our bodies are a universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're dead right again. And I suppose it's proven fact that some of these hormones and medications that have been using on those animals are actually carcinogenics. So, I mean, if this is something that's been proven, you'd imagine that our government, and in particular our Minister for Health, would take a very strong stance on this and ensure, as I said, that products are labelled properly so that people know exactly what they're eating.
Do you think it's the government just, as you said, hoping it all goes away and everybody goes quiet? Are they listening? Is it like the referendum? They're not listening to the people on the ground. They're not listening to the local people.
They're doing it more and more every day. We see it. We all know what they're doing to the farmers. They're destroying the farmers, and in particular the smaller farmers. They have absolutely decimated the whole fishing industry here. I got a phone call just the other day, and from what we call the chartered fishermen, the other fishermen that bring, say, tourists out mainly on fishing trips. They are now going to be prosecuted. They're actually going to introduce very strict catch limits for them, which is going to destroy their whole industry. So it's very foolish, because I don't know who's coming up with this. It's obviously someone sitting in an office somewhere that really doesn't have a clue what they're doing. And our latest one actually was, we had a very large meeting in Connemara, close to my own hometown, just last Monday, where again there's a new issue coming up in relation to seaweed harvesters. So they want to start licensing seaweed harvesters, which is just madness. And we had a massive turnout. We had over 300 people turned out for that meeting. It just shows that people I think they're actually starting to open their eyes and see what's going on here. Because what they're trying to do there is they're trying to introduce a licensing system for the seaweed harvesters, which means that, the way we look at it in independent Ireland is that, if somebody actually has a folio right to harvest the seaweed on their coastal area, then why should they have to go and pay big money to get a license to harvest on their own property? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, thanks to No Thomas, we have good news for you. You're talking about fisheries. We now have, and I met my Irish political roundup, have a fisheries correspondent, and her father's a fisherman, and she's called Jess Hurley, and I met her up at the No to Mercica protest up in Athlone. So we'll be connecting her with you, and maybe you might do some interviews with her.
We'd be delighted to, yeah.
She knows the lingo. Paul and I have been talking about the fisheries since November 2023. But you have to have someone who knows what they're talking about, knows the fishermen's lives, and talks to the fishermen and talks to that.
And that is what has happened in this country. It has almost everybody we have inside this doll here in this modern day, they seem to have become completely detached. They have no connection to the ordinary person on the ground anymore, which is very, very unfortunate. And all the rural communities in particular are suffering very badly because of that. And I shouldn't say just rural, because the whole country is suffering. There's a serious cost of living crisis in this country. That's all a result of what these guys in here are doing. And it's a pity they couldn't get back to where say politicians came from originally, where they actually, you know, had big interest in caring for the people and doing their best for them. But I don't know what's gone wrong. It's something has changed.
Grassroots politicians representing the people of who elected them and who didn't elect them.
I didn't introduce you, Roisin.
No, I just wondered.
My other colleague, this is Chris Maxwell he's a Mayo councillor. So another.
Oh, we must get you on the county council.
He's a farmer himself as well.
Yeah. So tell us. So would you like to just introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, Chris Maxwell is my name. I'm from Louisburg in County Mayo. I'm a county councillor for Independent Ireland.
And how long have you been a councillor?
Yeah, year and a half now.
Oh, so we'd love to have you on our County Councillors Caucus round table. Your colleague has been on with us and get around the table.
No problem.
And a nice rural area too, which doesn't get much mention on the mainstream media, is the rural areas of the west of Ireland, anywhere outside the M50.
Yes, that's correct. We are at the same thing now too in West Mayo. We're trying to get proper representation back to it and get money and plenty of funding sent from Dublin down to improve the standard of living for all my constituents in West Mayo.
And what issues are coming up, apart from the farming? You come from a rural area. The farming, is everyone talking about the rural, the farming industry and the agri-food?
Yeah, as I say, Noel here has talked extensively there now about the problems with the farming. We also have major problems with transport issues. We have not enough bus services. We have no rural link. We have major issues that we're trying to solve at the minute in terms of planning and to keep our young people at home.
Yes.
If we don't have our young people at home, rural Ireland will die. And this government they do not seem to understand how serious that problem is. We have the finest educated young people in the country, and they're all forced to immigrate. It is destroying rural Ireland at the minute. And these people, as Noel says in here behind these gates, when they pass over the Shannon from the west of Ireland as TDs, they forget where they come from. And I'm afraid it's a major issue, and everyone is on about it. And I mean, they have more concern about every other country outside their own, which is very, very sad. And it's time they woke up now.
And that is very important, to keep our rural communities vibrant, and also not just with our communities together and have our families together, but also our local economies as well.
Absolutely, that's what keeps the rural Ireland ticking over and keeps businesses, keeps industry, keeps tourism, keeps everything afloat. The tourists come to the west of Ireland especially to enjoy what you call family life and our rural areas. And if we haven't our young people, it's going to stagnate, and it's going to be in serious trouble.
And the rural communities, that is where our real Irish culture is, isn't it? You think Galway, Mayo, you have all the Shanakees, the storytellers, the culture, around the turf fire, telling the stories and keeping the old traditions going. Absolutely,
that's what rural life is all about. And I mean, no matter how you look at it, we have an instance down there in North Mayo, and we have the biggest wind farm in the country.
Oh yeah.
We had the natural gas, and it's all been exported over to the east of the country. And services in North Mayo and West Mayo are lacking. We are producing the energy comes from there, whether it's wind farm or whether it's oil, gas, and it's exported out. And we are not getting the benefits of all the money that's generated from the sale of them commodities. It's an absolute disgrace. And as Noel said, everyone is beginning to wake up again now to that.
Ireland has amazing natural resources. You think about the Shell oil. That's not even an Irish company anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we should be owning our own natural resources.
Unfortunately, we should be, but I'm afraid we're too late for a lot of it at the minute. It has been sold out over the last decades. It's a very sad situation.
Well, maybe we have to find a way of reclaiming it.
Exactly. That's what I'd say myself. Yeah, I'd say definitely. I mean, we're being far too soft when it comes to our resources. I mean, we have some of the best seas in the world for fishing. We've given them all away.
Yes.
Or I shouldn't say we've given them all away. Our government has given them away, and it's been taken away by some other European countries as well. And all because, I suppose, we've got weak governance in this country, people who cannot stand up and fight for the people in their own country. It's very disappointing to see it. I suppose, look, when it comes to wind energy, yes, it's and it's you'd wonder, what that's about. It seems to be sort of big companies making a lot of money.
Yes.
That's what a lot of the industry, as far as I can see, it seems to be about. And then after that, you've got the all the resources we had out off our coast as well in relation to gas and oil and everything else, all given away. Like really and truly, if you look back on what has happened over the last 30, 40 years in this country, we should probably be one of the wealthiest countries in Europe.
And we're importing turf, forget, and we are the turf country in the world.
I know, but look, under our green leadership at the time, we were bringing in wood chip from Brazil to power our power stations, so clueless.
And just further to that point, when you do talk about the turf and about wind energy, you can imagine the situation now. China is opening up coal mines as fast as they can to produce the wind turbines and the blades for wind energy, export them to here, and we cannot cut turf in our own country. It's the most ridiculous situation we have ever seen.
And that makes a mockery of the green agenda.
I think, to be honest with you, the Greens are pretty good at making a mockery of themselves. I think, Roisin, to be honest with you, I'm watching. I actually just we're talking about green policy. I just there's a thing going on in Galway City at the moment. So if you go out on the Ballyvan Road and up the Castlebar Road, or Castle Park Road, I should say, and up there they brought in the new active travel scheme where we had a fine wide road up there, right? And now they're after putting a footpath and a cycle lane each side of the road, narrowing the lanes so that buses can hardly pass each other, just a few centimetres between them. Yeah, but this is the point I'm getting to. And like, if there ever was an accident at busy time there at the traffic, I mean, there's no place for anybody to go. Emergency vehicles won't get through. Instead of if these Greens were trying to be anyways green, what they actually would have done in that situation was put a bus lane each side of the road to allow everybody to get free, easy, fast access into the city. But no, it's just, I don't know. You can't figure these people out how they think. It's incredible. But you're looking, the man that started it all, what did he tell us when things were hard? We could grow lettuce on our windowsills,
and he fell asleep in the door as well.
That's it.
Now he's off at the housing star in Europe.
Yeah.
So when the going gets tough, he gets going.
Oh yeah, but a lot more of them will do that too. I'm sure our great Taoiseach that's we have at the moment will probably be doing something similar in the near future as well.
So independent Ireland, you're maybe, as I said, up at the Athlone, to Mercury, you're a relatively new party, but my gosh, you are a party of experience.
But you know what, Roisin, we're not actually a unique party as such.
No.
What we are is just, as our slogan says, we're a party of common sense, and that's something that needs to be brought back because it's forgotten. Common sense, as I say myself, is not very common anymore.
Absolutely. And you're a party that are bringing a lot of young people with you.
There's great interest from a lot of young people. And I suppose, again, it's just because they see, essentially the common sense attitude that we're taking towards various different issues that are around the country. And that's the approach that needs to be taken, Everything doesn't have to be super complicated and super expensive. It's trying to simplify things again and just make them happen.
Overregulated.
But overregulated, and yet all the food and everything, all the imports is underregulated.
That's another problem as we're seeing. Yeah, and look at that. Maybe that's the tip of the iceberg. I think there's a lot of the food we're eating today, I suppose, it's become so processed, and that's what for the generations coming up now is kind of normal for them. So they think that's actually normal food. Whereas, I'd say my age, my generation are probably one of the last generation to actually have seen, most of their diet in their early years would have been all natural food,
From farm to fork, from local
exactly,
local area, in season.
And that's the scary thing when you look back and you see the farmers compared to the farmers when I was growing up. Every farmer around us back in my day when I was a young lad, everyone was growing food themselves. They always had something to swap back and over with each other. They weren't so much relying on going to the supermarket for everything they needed. But unfortunately, that seems to be disappearing.
Well, thanks to Noel Thomas, you're running in
Galway West.
In Galway West.
By-election, yeah.
By-election. How is the campaign going?
It's very, very busy. That's all I can say. And, something we still have a long slog ahead of us. But look, all I can say is we're going to give it 100%, and hopefully that the results will work out right for us.
Well, councillors Noel Thomas and
Chris Maxwell.
Councillor Chris Maxwell from from Mayo. I see that you're going to be probably another photo call. I think you've missed a photo call talking to me and a photo op. But thank you so much for taking the time
Thanks,
to
Joseph,
speak to
Roisin.
the Irish
Thank
Political
you.
Roundup. Thank you so much indeed. And that was Councillor Noel Thomas and his colleague from Mayo. And we're just up here, and I'm going to go across the road. I think I'll cross the road and then give you a good view on this. I hope you can hear me okay. And let me see. It says, oh, yeah, you can hear me. That is great. So this here is the protest outside the door. And it's great to see the Irish people up here and supporting the Irish farmers and the Irish agri-food. And definitely, we have to start buying Irish. And the most amazing thing is, 3 doors down here, and you can't see it behind the bus, is, I'm going to take you down here, is the Guaranteed Irish office. And yet, you know, it's quiet. There's no statements, there's no outcry from the Guaranteed Irish office, which is over there. It's number 20, Mosley Street. So there you see it on the door there with the green Guaranteed Irish logo. I might actually just go up there, then we'll go back up to the farmers. And there's traffic coming down there, so I'll wait till this traffic goes. But there it is. Just, I'm going to show you how close in proximity it is from Dail Eireann. Because this is what is and Paul and I have been speaking about. And there it is, number 20. And I'm just going to rotate this, and there's the door. And so why is all this farce on the Guaranteed Irish? You know, buying Irish, supporting local economies. You know, we have to get back. Maybe what we should be doing is boycotting all businesses and supermarkets, big supermarket chains that are not supporting or buying Irish beef, or Irish food produce, and Irish supporting Irish farmers and who are importing. We must boycott anybody who's importing any further meat, eggs, poultry. Now that isn't. I'm all for free trade. I am, but at the same time, I'm also all for supporting Irish farmers and supporting our local economy and our coastal economies with the fisheries. We won't forget about the fisheries. And there is definitely Richard O'Donovan there. And who else do we have here? And there is Francie O'Gorman of the IFA. And just talking here. So we're up here live. And so we're up here and we're just supporting. And let's have a look at that. SME Shell, same standards. And that give us a board we can trust. And this is also important to be supporting local farmers. And farmers are the heart and soul of our economies and on our rural areas. And no food, no farmers, no food. We have to really take into account of our health. Well, there's everyone's sort of Richard O'Donoghue there, and he's there talking to his colleagues from Galway and from Mayo. And we'll just go down here. He'll come over to us when he's ready. We'll just how are you, Deputy Richard O'Donoghue? You're talking to your Independent Ireland colleagues. Richard O'Donoghue, would you like to give us a few words?
I will, of course.
So I'll give you that. And Deputy Richard O'Donoghue, like I mentioned to your colleagues, the No Domestic protest was a huge success. We spoke to you on that, and you said you were overwhelmed and delighted at that. So where do you think this is all going to go, especially now with the chairman?
The chairman of Bord Bia has to go. we're here today again, right? We have Councillor Old Thomas and Chris Maxwell are here today, Councillor Chris Maxwell, and he has to go. When you have no confidence in you and people have no confidence in you, that means you have to step down. For all right you might have done, what you done with the Brazilian beef was wrong, and you have to be held accountable for that. And for that, it's a decent thing to do, is step down, not to be pushed down. But we're not going away. So if he thinks he's going to ride this one out, it's not going to happen. All the farming organisations are going pulling together to make sure it happens. But not only this, the people that are eating the food are also coming together. So it's not just farmers; it's everyone in this country want to see accountability for people bringing in inferior food into the food chain, which could be affecting their families and our health. And that's where the buck stops. And that's why he needs to go, and he needs to go now. And all he's doing is prolonging the situation. We're not going away. And I can't understand why the ministers inside there are actually backing him. These are the same people that elected him to look after their health and well-being. So they're equally accountable if they facilitate leaving the chairperson where he is.
I always find it interesting because Paul and I have been coming up here to report from Dail Eireann. The Guaranteed Irish is just down there, 3 doors down from Dail Eireann, and yet they're very silent.
Yeah, very, very silent. It just makes you wonder when you see Guaranteed Irish, you expect to get Irish products. And when you see a lot of products on shelves at the moment, people now are checking the food. You see them going into any stores now. They're picking up the packaging. They're turning upside down. They're not looking for they're looking for the place of origin. Manufactured means it's been repacked somewhere else. It's the place of origin. And an awful lot of people that have shops at the moment, and even local butchers at the moment, are coming into now knowing that to get proper Irish food with good quality, this is what they want. So it'll turn itself, because the market will turn for people looking for quality Irish food.
I was talking to your colleague, Chancellor Noel Thomas earlier, and I put the question to you. Are there too many logos? Are there too many sort of logos of Irish? Should we just go back to the one logo, Guaranteed Irish, and bring all the organisations umbrellas all under the one umbrella of Guaranteed Irish again?
It should be under something like that, where an umbrella will actually cover all of them. But the biggest thing is they all have to meet the same quality for foods. And the biggest disappointment to me is, and it comes from the chairman of Bord Bia, and I see this, is they've been going on to farms, making sure that people, putting them under massive stress to make sure that they're meeting the quality control. But yet they were bringing in inferior beef themselves in and stamping Guaranteed Irishness. It's unthinkable that a person would do that. And it doesn't matter. And I heard Timmy Dooley last night on the radio saying he came from a small farm and all. Being from a small farm, right? It doesn't look like he done much work in that small farm, because I'm from a farm base as well. And if you'd done that, you'd have the respect for the farmers. You'd have respect for the consumer. I'm pulling out that old story. I worked on a farm, but he also said he studied politics 40 years ago. And maybe that's the piece of farming he done. He said he studied something, knowing where he wanted to go. We're not for sale. Independent Ireland is not for sale. We're standing for the farmers. We're standing for business people. We're standing for quality control. We won't be shifted. And the day people don't want me is the day I'm happy to go. So I'm not here to get my promotions. I'm here to represent people and hold the government to account, which also means holding Bord Bia to account.
And you certainly are doing a great job, known by the numbers you turned up to the Northern Register in Athlone.
Well, that was people from all different farming organisations, all different people from different businesses turned up. We created something for them to turn up. It wouldn't have happened only for those people turning up, but every one of those, from children to adults, they're worried. They're worried for the future. And I said this inside there a while ago, and I was talking to the Hillsheen farmers inside. Coming from a farming background, we hadn't an awful lot, but we had enough. But it took 2 generations to make the next generation to where they could live better and have a better life. That was 20 and 30 years ago. Today, no farmer succession plan is better off than the last farmer. Every year there's a change in legislation. They change something that put the farming communities under pressure. Now our younger generation don't want to go into farming. And that is a huge problem as well. So if something happens worldwide, and there's another war or something, and we're under pressure. We're €1 million or 1 million people extra in this country.
Yes.
We'll have a problem with food security. The history books were written before when with the famine. You look at it now, and you stop people producing food in this country. Our sheep are down exporting out of the country. Beef is down. Now they're trying to look at dairy. They're importing dairy, importing milk into this country. And we've the best quality animals in this country, grass-fed animals. This is lunacy. So whatever they're doing in the background, the government are doing in the background, they're slowly poisoning the same people that they want them to vote back in there. But it's going to change because people are not fools. They're going to see what they're eating, and they want quality food for themselves and their children. So government, watch out. It's coming. Bord Bia is going to be the start of this, but they're also going to be held to account.
And Jeffrey O'Donovan, we're happy that you mentioned the sheep farming. I was talking to a fashion designer last year, and they said, well, we start talking about cotton, but most of all, we're known for our woolen industries as an English country and culture and our product. That, you know, wool is being burnt now. Wool is not a commodity anymore.
No, and things have changed on that. And I was even talking to the hill farmers, and they showed me the history about what they do, and I was very interested in how they do hill sheep farming, right? And how the sheep can go up into the hills, knowing where they're going, where the lambs were born. They actually go back to the same place, and you could have 10 farmers above on the one hill, and the sheep seem to know where they're going. That's history, but they also know the history of the generations before them, of the people that have the knowledge of those hills, but it also reflects tourism. People come into the country to see what the old island was like, and that's as old as you're going to get. And there's history involved in this. There's quality lamb as well from this. But they made something last year, but the year before, it was 50% and 60% less. So it's a cycle that comes. So the cycle we need to get right is quality foods. You have to pay your premium price for it. But why are the government making it so hard on the Irish people to produce food, and then they're taking inferior food from another country, and then try and get us here to meet a quality standard, where they're not taking in any quality from the likes of Brazil and other places? And that means that it will not. Is their whole thing that they're trying to do to make it unviable here for Irish farmers, so they can meet this environmental targets? We're 0.001 the problem with global emissions. Yet Brazil are pulling down thousands of acres of rainforest, inducing their beef herd 150%, and they want to sign up to a Mercosur deal. What we're looking to have that is amended. Take out the Brazilian beef. If you want to produce food into Europe, meet the same quality control that we've got to meet, and you're welcome in. Otherwise, stay the hell where you are. And that's what the message is. You can still have the Mercosur deal for the businesses, but take out the Brazilian part of it unless you meet quality food. That means your tagging system, that means your traceability, and that means the quality of your food coming into the market. And that's what we're about, and that's what we're going to stand for.
And Jeffrey O'Donovan, we're all for free trade.
Yes,
right?
100%.
We all are. But mothers and consumers and anyone goes to the supermarket shop, we want to buy Irish produce. We don't want to be buying Brazilian beef. We want to buy a homegrown Irish produce from our local farmer.
And that's what we want to buy. But again, this is turning, and it's turned since the Athlone. It's turned since the no to Mercosur. People now are turning the packages over. They're looking at the traceability on the food place of origin. So it's the people of Ireland. No matter what nationality you're from, you want quality food. And they're not fools. So check the packaging that you're buying. If you're inside in a hotel or wherever you are, ask them where is the origin of the food. I guarantee you if it's Irish, they can trace it back to the farm. And there's a lot of shops there. So support those shops that are supporting you. And the ones that are not supporting you, don't support them.
Yeah. And I've been calling on the Irish Political Roundup for us to go back to supporting our local butchers, our local supermarkets who are supporting local butchers, and boycotting big chains that are importing Brazilian beef.
Exactly, Brazilian beef, and also any food that's coming into this country that doesn't meet the quality of foods and standards, they need to do this. Look how many thousand tons of chicken came in to this country. But yet we had chicken farmers here in this country that were closed down because they were no longer viable. And so where's the viability of supporting Ireland? It's not only supporting Ireland, it's supporting Ireland farmers, and it's supporting next generations.
And the local economy and the rural communities.
And that's what I'm one of 11 in our family. There's 2 left in my family that are farming. Out of 11. Out of 11 of us, okay? And we all go up and 2 are left. Both of those have children. One of those, their children said they will never farm. So I'll be lucky if one of my nephews or nieces takes over the farm out of 11 of their uncles and aunts that grew up on the farm. That's how scary it is, because they don't see it viable for them to take over. That scares me. That means all the generations of our family. And my father was born in 1911, so I grew up old school. You grew up with respect, you grew up with quality control, and you grew up for the farming community and a community. That's all gone by the rules that this government are putting in for us, but they take it away from somebody else. So to me, it starts with Bord Bia, it starts with the government. But why are these people here today? They have enough things to be doing besides up here looking for something that you should be absolutely entitled to. Standards are standards. We live by them. Brazil should live by them, and this government should live by them.
And the people of Ireland going into the supermarket, the ordinary citizens should be buying and supporting.
Buy and support Irish. Pick up the packaging, turn it over, and see where don't look for the manufacturer, look for the place of origin. And that will tell you exactly where the food is coming from. And demand that you have Irish food.
It's a bit of mis-selling, isn't it?
It is 100% mis-selling, and that's what we need to do. But as I said, the Irish people are not fools. And if you go back decades where this country was Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael for decades. And my mother was Fine Gael, my father was Fianna Fáil, they're bred and independent. What can I do? But as I said, but back then people were standing up for the people in their communities. Today, they're only looking for positions in government, and they don't care what they have to do. But those generations that were part of those parties for years and have followed them and supported them for years are now looking at it. We've been sold to pup. They're not fools anymore. And what has actually saved us is media. They say down in one place that they're doing something for you, and they come up here and they vote the opposite way. That's what's been picked up now. So all the generations are now learning that the TDs that you thought were representing you no longer represent you. I'm not saying I'll get everything right all the time, but I will go on the basis of trying to look after our communities and our county and work for a better Ireland. And that's what Independent Ireland was set up for. We're in 2 years now. Michael Collins and myself, Michael Fitzmaurice, and Ken O'Flynn. That's 4 TDs. We've Kieran Maloney as an MEP, and we've 24 councillors. So we started up something because we want to leave for another generation that there is a voice in Ireland. That's what we're standing for. That's what Independent Ireland was set up for, and that's what we're going to stay with. So we want people to come on board with Independent Ireland. You saw what can be achieved in at Lone with everyone helping us. We're here to help. We're not for sale, but we want people to invest in Independent Ireland, put candidates forward that will represent your county, represent your parish, your town, your village, your city. Come forward and we'll support you as best we can for you to support your community. So let's rebuild Ireland. And that's what Independent Ireland is for, is to rebuild Ireland. And that's what we want to do.
Well, Deputy Richard O'Donoghue, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you could be talking to your farmers.
Thank you. How are you? How are things? You have a clean room. I don't know. How are you? How are you?
So we don't pick up the private conversation.
No.
That is Deputy Richard O'Donoghue there, and got a rapturous round of applause from the farmers. He was standing there listening to what he was saying. Irish Rural Association. Hello, I'm live on YouTube. May I have a quick word with you? Hello, Deputy Michael Collins. How are you? I've seen you speaking an awful lot. I'm sorry, I've only got you in the frame. And it's terrible what's happening, especially with Irish rural communities and with the food projects.
Yes. I mean, we're here today to say that we want to see the chairman of the board of Bord Bia resign or being removed, because he actually sits on the state board that produces and sells Irish produce. But yet, in his own business, he brings in and imports Brazilian beef. That's not on. That's double standards.
It's hypocritical.
And it is hypocritical.
And we're selling.
But the problem here is, the man is involved in many businesses. He holds a lot of directorships. Not all of that has been shown. And we also need to have a look at where it's really all coming from, because this is really all coming from the processors, the factories, and all of the people behind it. And the big family name that comes out with all of the links is Queelys. Queelys are known processors and business companies. They have several business companies. They have companies that are all over the world, but the man that we're talking about today is also part of that. So it's double standards. The person that chairs should be independent. And it's not acceptable when you see farmers of Ireland working so hard to meet the regulations of Bord Bia. When you have a situation of the last few, well, where did you put your poison for the rats? Did you dose the cat? Did you dose the dog? That's how tight the regulations are for Irish farmers. We produce the best product, but this is not acceptable. So he has to go. We are very concerned that the government are still supporting him. And we question at the end of the day, does that mean that the Irish government also support the importation of Brazilian beef? Brazilian beef that has been proven to be carcinogenic and dangerous for people's health. We are also concerned as farmers for our consumers. We're trying to inform them of what's happening and to please check the labels, look at the labels when you're buying food. When you see anything that is non-EU, put it back on the shelf. Support Irish, support local produce, support your local butchers.
And that's where I'm emphasising here on the Irish Political Roundup, because we have to shop local, support local businesses. And when we support our local farmers, we're supporting the rural communities and keeping rural families together and supporting the rural economy.
And that's very, very important, because we are being decimated. We have a green agenda that we still have to fight next. Where they're trying to make the west of Ireland a green area. So we have a lot of work and a lot of challenges ahead of it, but people have to stand up. We have people here this morning, we have ladies that have joined us in particular this morning that are following our page, and we are delighted at that, because it gives us the oomph to keep going and speak for these people and speak for rural Ireland fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I think there's going to be a speech now, so thank you. And there's going to be a speech now, and I think we'll just stand back and we might cross the road and get this if we can through the traffic. I don't want to be causing any traffic or any issues here, but this here is, we need to support our Irish food. And I'm not against free trade. The Irish Political Roundup is not against free trade, but we are against, it affecting our food, our health, and our farmers and our rural community. This here is an issue. And look, we have Niall Murrin walking into the committee, into Dail Eireann, and there we have it. We have him there on the live stream. And the Irish farmers showing their distaste.
Not someone that's important within the beef.
And Niall Mullen walking in. Niall Mullen walking into the door now and getting in, and this, the Agriculture Committee is taking place now, and it makes is the integrity of Bord Bia in question? Is the integrity of the labelling and branding of Irish products and Irish food? Should it have more integrity in the labelling? And we're going to see if we can get Larry Mullen walking into the door from the gates here. And if we're getting his pass and going through the security checks before he walks into the door. And while he's just doing that, we'll just get some photos of some clips of this, of all the it's IBLA, Irish Beef and Lamb Association, and And farmers have a lot more to do than come up and protest. They have to feed the animals, look after the animals, look after the farm, and keep things going in the farm. And that's really important. And there is Murrin walking in to the Dail Eireann, to the Agriculture Committee. And we're going over to the other buildings over there. And there he is. It's going to be quite interesting to see what comes and the outcomes of the Agriculture Committee and how many more committees we will have to have before it happens. So we're back to the farmers out here. It is freezing up here. I'm standing and my fingers are absolutely frozen. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut the live stream now, and then we might come back to you with more developments of what is happening up here in the live stream. It is freezing up here, and I'm going to turn the fan. It's absolutely freezing. And at least the rain has stayed off, although there is a weather warning from 12 o'clock today. And my hands are that cold, I can't even touch. But there is a weather warning up here in Dublin. And there is more. There's a huge, I think we'll cover that now too.
We separate grain in the Irish public game, and farmers across the length of the country know that this is totally inappropriate and wrong. It is a huge conflict of interest for a person who is the chair of the board of an agency which is about supplying and marketing Irish beef and Irish food products around the world, to be importing beef from Brazil, which is raised to none of those standards, where we have antibiotics and hormones liberally used across the whole system. And indeed, we know that there is absolutely zero traceability when it comes to the beef products that have been produced in Brazil. Irish farmers have to produce the highest quality products, and they're proud to do so. And then meet all the recommendations.
See if I can get a better view. How are you?
Sometimes they break difficulty. And they do it. And they do it because they want to ensure that people are not poisoned by
I might get a better view here.
when they're in the shop or the restaurant. So it's important today that we set the standards, not just for Irish farmers, but for those at the very top as well. Accountability goes both ways. It goes up as well as down. Irish farmers are accountable to the consumers and to the markets. Well, so has Larry Murrin to be accountable. And today we will make him accountable to the Oireachtas and to the Oireachtas Committee. Thanks very much, Martin. The next man up here from Independent. Thank you very much. Number one, thank you very much for coming here today. You're here today to fight for food quality. Larry Murrin did not. We, farmers in this country, consumers in this country, and people said to me today, and I met people on the Lewis and all the rest of them, they were coming here, and people said to them, what are you up for today? And they turned around to people here in Dublin, and they're here today to say about quality of foods. It's already started from that loan. In Independent Ireland, brought all the different agencies together for the first time ever, and when we're together, you can see what can happen when all the agencies come together. Not only the agencies, but all different farming communities, all different consumers come together, what we can achieve. He needs to go. Out of respect for the people of Ireland, you've done wrong. You asked the people through Bord Bia, with all the different health checks, quality checks, you brought people under so much scrutiny, and then you come in and you bring in Brazilian beef. For that, you go. Independent Ireland wants you gone. The people of Ireland want you gone. We no longer have any confidence in you. And this government, and I heard them talking last night, they were trying to defend this man. These are the same people that are putting all the different controls that are stopping the next succession of farmers bringing quality food to the table. So people, it doesn't stop here. I'm from a farming background of generations of farmers. Out of my family of 11, I'll be lucky if I have one nephew or niece will take over a farm because of the regulations that have been put in place. And then they sell us out for cheap quality food. So thank you for standing here today, not only for the farmers, not only for the consumers, but for the next generations that we want to produce quality food in this country. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Independent Ireland stands with you. But just make sure it doesn't stop here. Come the election time, this is what we have elected the last time. Social media has shown us that people in your areas have told you they're looking after you and voting for you up here. Social media has shown you now, they've told you one thing, but they're doing another. Just watch the media, you don't have to believe me. You can see it for yourself. We've been not only sold out by government, we've been sold out by Bord Bia. We want our country back, we want our quality food back, and we want our next generation of succession of farmers for quality food in this country. So thank you and keep up the fight.
Another active support for Richard, Deputy Richard O'Donoghue from Murrin.
I think a representative of each of the farm organisations here to come up and have a few words. If it's okay, I might kick things off with the beef plan. Most people know me, Eamon Corley, I'm the chairperson of the beef plan. The reason we started the beef plan up a number of years ago is because we felt that beef farmers were getting a raw deal and they weren't getting the representation that we thought they needed. We've seen a lot of problems in the beef industry, a lot of corruption, and we are trying our best to sort that corruption out. Now, only a few weeks ago, one of our members discovered the label in the Subway restaurant. It was actually a Subway restaurant in Drogheda, and on the label it said that Dawn Farm Foods sourced beef from Ireland and Brazil, and that later turned into a major scandal when we discovered that the managing director of Dawn Farm Foods was also the chairperson of Bord Bia. As farmers, there's huge problems with this. Number one, he was willing to substitute substandard Brazilian beef for Irish beef in contracts. And we believe the reason that was on the Subway restaurant, it was to give him a license to substitute any amount of foreign beef that he could get his hands on into contracts to make more money and to reduce the price to the farmer. There was also a huge food safety issue in that when you go in as a consumer into a restaurant or a takeaway or into a deli, the reality is that the Bord Bia stamp means nothing anymore. You can't really trust it. You don't know whether you're eating Irish beef, Brazilian beef, Polish beef. You have no idea, because the consumers and the farmers have lost the trust in that label. And that label, the Bord Bia label, is the label that Irish farmers get up every morning, record the medicines that they use, responsible use of antibiotics, full traceability of the herd. And that label is being used to sell substandard beef. Similar to the horse meat scandal a few years ago, where the processors weren't happy just to put beef into the beef burgers. They wanted to make an extra buck and they wanted to put horse meat in. The very same is still happening today, in that they want to introduce substandard beef that can actually harm people, and consumers should be very worried. I think for the consumers and the producers, we need a new chairperson of Bord Bia, and we need a restructuring of Bord Bia, that no meat processor controls Bord Bia. That's completely unacceptable. If the politicians think that that's okay for meat processors to control Bord Bia, then we have a problem with our processors, or we have a problem with our politicians. So I think that's as much as I have to say at the moment. So I see Jackie looking at me here from the Irish Rural Association, so I'll hand this over to Jackie and let Jackie have a word. Yeah.
Before you go, Mr. Hurley, what can we do about Dan Brown after you find out the process plant in Brazil in 2003? And Dawn Meats still have Dawn Farm Foods in Brazil.
And his son is running on the board.
Brazil is supplying all the burgers into McDonald's. When we question McDonald's, where do their burgers come from? The UK, because they're brought into the UK to supply Europe. And this is all covered up. It's the same thing as the way the meat industry in Ireland is controlled by JBS. And until we wake up with this, we protested outside and inside Bord Bia in 2019. And Joe Buck just laughed at us. He said, we do not work in farmers' interest. We work in processors' interest. They line our pockets. And that's what Joe Buck, he refused to meet us after. He refused to come back to us after the ploughing. He has no interest in the farmers. They just want to use our emblem, and that's it. Now, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Just, I'll hand you over to Jackie in a minute, but I just have a quick word on that. I think what all consumers and all farmers want is they want to be able to go into a takeaway. They want to be able to go into a restaurant. They want to be able to go into a retailer. They want to be able to see the country of origin on front of the packet of meat, on front of the deli counter, on the restaurant menu, and they want that country of origin to be Ireland. And unless we get a proper labelling system that's easy for people to see and understand, we will never solve the problems that you've just been talking about there. So at this stage, I'll hand you over to Jackie. Yeah.
Thank you, Eamon, and I'm glad you answered that question, because the documents that we have here in Irish Rural Association proves that Larry Murrin involved in it. What you have said about Dan Brown and his family, they're involved. But for years and years, we have spoken and wondered about Larry Goodman. We are putting our attention on the wrong Larry.
Exactly.
We are putting our attention on the wrong Larry.
JBS bought out Larry's note in the big fraud when Larry was on, and Morgan Stacks bought out that we are controlled by JBS. JBS controls 90% of the red and white meat in this country, including the government allowing them buy out Kerry Co-op red and white meat. Why was the World Cup park sponsored by My Park Chickens?
And that is why the Irish government, the Taoiseach, the Taoiseach, and the Minister for Agriculture are supporting this, because it's about money. It's about the processors. It's not about the farmers. Irish Rural Association, when the food recalls came into being, we sat and we spoke to the people in the Food Safety Authority. The answers that we got there were shocking. What we showed them was shocking. And this is where the whole labelling system has to change. But what we also need to be able to do is to try and get you farmers to understand that the Bord Bia quality assurance is a scam, and a big scam. And you're only getting 20 cents or a couple of cents more. The cap is coming down the line, lads. You're going to lose a lot more money. We have to keep fighting. And Irish Rural Association certainly will keep fighting. We will keep highlighting, because we can. Because we are not attached to anybody. We're farmers. And we will fight. But the message very clear from our followers as we head for 20,000 followers on social media is no. Larry Mullen has to go. That's the message. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jackie. If there's another farmer organisation here, just make your way. The Hill Farmers. Nice used to come, lads. Okay, I'll hand you over there.
Hello, my name is John Joe Fitzgerald. I'm the Vice President of the Irish Trade Pure Hill Farmers Association. Look, from the start of this controversy, we have come out and we put our point that the whole board of Bord Bia needs to step aside. And we need to see Larry gone. One way or the other, Larry has to go. From our point of view, with the board and the setup of the board, there's no proper representation for suckler farmers, beef farmers, and especially for hill farmers and this board. It's not right. We cannot accept this going forward. We need a thorough review, a thorough independent investigation on what's going on inside in Bord Bia. And we're not going to stop here today. This is going to continue until we get what we are looking for. And we will not be ignored what we're looking for any longer. So on top of that, look, I've sat inside here, I've listened to a lot of different discussions. The government need to wake up. The longer this goes on, the longer Larry stays in, the more damage that's going to be done. And we cannot stand idly by and see this or leave this happen, because we have worked very hard as Irish farmers to build up our markets, both at home and abroad. We've done an awful lot of work in the environmental side of it. and every other side of it. We get up, we're going 7 days a week, 365 days a year to feed proper food to people, you know, and in the end of the day, none of our food is full of hormones, chemicals, or anything else. And we see this shit show of a bloody Brazilian beef coming into this country and being bloody processed here and sold under the pretense it's Irish beef. It's not, and we cannot accept that any longer. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Who's next now? Just introduce yourself. This man from IFA, yeah.
How you doing, folks? David Young here, Irish Beef and Lamb Association. Like to thanks as well. That's unity. It's great to see so here unity here today in all the organisations here. Like united, you know, we're strong. We're all here together. Now the fact is, our members are very, very cross about this. I have members in our group today, lambing yours as we speak, and having cows. They know, and the government know that too as well. Like, we'll take these farmers, they're at home springtime. No, we will come out now, and we will have to be strong about this. Like, it annoys me. I seen one case. We can go in ourselves and into the shops and pick up the food, and we mightn't see the label. It was shocking to see baby food. A child going from maybe infant formula onto solid food, and this product. A child doesn't have a choice, maybe 18 months old or 2 years old, and hormones going into maybe a young baby child, carcinogenic, toxic. I'll use the word, we're eating dumb. We're going back now to 30 years ago. We ate clean. We knew what we were, but this has gone on so long. The consumer has to be aware of this. I go in Tesco, and you know it yourselves, or any of those retailers, and people are just passing by. They trust the labels, but they don't even read them. Time to stand up, and the time to get that message out to the ordinary housewife in this country. Would you like to be feeding your child food? No way. Even myself, we have loved ones with cancer. Everybody's affected with cancer in this country, and it could be down to what we're eating for the last 30 years. Now, it has to stop. Larry has to go. The board as well has to be accountable. They have to go. It's not on. You can't just sit there on the fence. You can't be running with the hound, and you can't be running with the hare. You just have to stand up and go. If the board goes, they'll have to renew a board anyway. It isn't that Bord Bia is just going to be gone overnight. Get proper people in. We mentioned as well that farm reps here today, we have no advice inside there. It's just relying on other farm organisations, sucker committees, and more representation, and rotation of boards or something like that as well. Our voices have to be heard. Enough is enough. We're being stood on too long, and time to just stand up, and we'll just say, lads, we have politicians in there. We elected them in. They have to listen to us and be accountable to do their job. Now, thanks.
Thanks very much, well done. Okay, if we've another farm organisation, I'm not sure if it ran out. If there's anyone else there, step forward and let's know what farm organisation you're representing. Who is it? You, Farrell, is it?
He was going to.
All right. Yeah. Eddie, do you want to have a few words?
And there is Eddie Punch there coming in to give
we've had a few speeches before you, and we've had the farm organisations say a few words, and with some of the TDs. Do you want to tell our audience here anything? Have a few words there.
Thank you, Eamon. Rules for thee, but not for me. I think we have too much now of a sense that the big business, the leaders, are untouchable. It's time now to recognize that without farmers, there's no food. Without farmers, there's no Bord Bia. Without farmers, there's no multimillionaire beef barons. It's time the primary producer was given the respect that they need. For too long now, we've seen over and over again farmers seen as an inconvenient second thought. But it is the farmers who have produced the food that have delivered 21 billion euros of agri-food exports from our country. And when I hear governments talking about ye don't get to decide, ye don't say who leads state agencies, they're forgetting that the purpose of the state agencies is to serve the people, to serve the agri-food sector, to serve the people who get up early in the morning. It's really time for us to say enough is enough. Larry Murrin has lost the confidence of the people who produce the food that deliver the 21 billion euros of agri-food exports. Larry Mullen is a musician, leave him alone. Larry Mullen runs a big business, that's fair enough. And what he does with his business is his business. But the mandate of Bord Bia is very simple. It is to promote Irish food, Irish produce, with a view to getting the best possible return for the people who get up night and day, 24/7, to put the dinner on the table. You cannot be in the business of importing Brazilian beef, which has only one reason only, to undercut the price that the farmer is getting. That is an absolute conflict of interest, and there is no getting around it. You cannot tell farmers that you have to be quality assured. You cannot tell farmers that you have to take more and more steps to be traceable, and then bring in Brazilian beef after telling them that the consumer demands traceability, demands quality assurance, but hey-ho, we'll bring in Brazilian beef anyway. That is incompatible with leadership. That is incompatible with the chair of Bord Bia. And for all of those reasons, it's time now to do the right thing, to step down and restore confidence in Bord Bia. Enough is enough. Farmers have to be listened to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eddie.
I might go back on. I might but I'll come back on. And that seems to be the wrap up here for the Irish farmers' protest here outside the door here in Leinster House. The farmers have come to Dublin, to the gates of Dail Eireann, and as they said, there is no one representing them. The ordinary farm organisations within Dail Eireann. They're relying on other people to actually represent them and be their voice in Dail Eireann. And so that's going to be a wrap up here from the Irish Political Roundup here for now. There might be something later on and I'll come up and do a live stream. But from now, thank you so much to all of you who have actually tuned in and made comments. We really do appreciate that, and we thank you for doing that, because we have to look after our food. We have to look after our food supply, our food source, and our food safety, and we have to support our local farmers, our local communities, and our rural communities, because if there's no farmers, there's no food. This is Roisin Leclerc for the Irish Political Roundup, and we'll be coming on live stream again if any more new developments or any more interviews here up at Leinster House in the Dail Eireann at the Corridors of Power. I'm flying solo today, so I don't have Paul. Paul's working, and my son's working. He usually does cameraman, so I'm actually learning and getting used to this. So thank you for your patience. And if the shaky hands, my hands are absolutely freezing, but you can see that just people are leaving, and it's just really. Behind me is Ellie Punch, and he's up here as well. He ran as an MEP candidate in the European elections. So that's us over and out here from Dail Eireann, from motion declared from the Irish Political Roundup. And with